Let's try it out next week.
If the audio works, it wasn't working last week.
So, do you guys rip audio from that, or are you recording it separately?
No, we recorded separate.
Yeah,
Okay.
we still do Adobe Audition.
Okay. Is it recording from the camera, the audio?
It's recording from the board,
Okay.
so from like the mic and stuff.
Last week it was not, but I
don't know
think
why.
it doesn't
Somebody
look
was
like
always
it's
messing
too
with
messed
it.
up.
It's all But thank you guys again for having us. This was so fun. If you
Thank
have
you guys.
if you ever do a book episode, if you ever do
Okay, that's
another
me.
music
That's
thing,
me.
we would love to be on again. We loved it. Thank
That was
you guys.
great.
Thank
Thank you guys.
you. Have a good rest of your day.
We have a jam. So fun.
That was so good. They're so silly. Wow.
He's a creative musician too, which is funny. Did we make a season 5? No.
No, we didn't make any.
I'm just gonna click that.
ones
We're just
yet.
gonna dump it.
I should have told my parents to listen.
My parents will listen. They said we got the last half of it.
Katie Beers is in Mexico right now.
Oh, yeah, she's
Seriously.
literally. And she will still find a way to tune in.
Yeah.
Oh, ID card. Hold on.
Where did he get his chair like that?
Yeah. You're welcome. Bye.
How did he do his chair like this?
I don't know. Take this one.
Why is it so low?
Why is it so low?
Let's see.
I'll put my stuff on the mini chair.
Some-
Please tell me the YouTube's not streaming like it was last time. I'd actually cry.
Oh wait, what is it? Last.
Oh my god. You can hear us again?
This is so
Damn!
annoying.
Guys, you didn't hear anything we just said.
Let's see.
I'll put my stuff on the mini chair. Oh! If you YouTube viewers. No! Can you click the setting on that? Wait, you can hear us again? Guys,
Wait, it's
you
not
didn't hear
there.
anything we just said. Let's see. I'll put my stuff on the mini chair. Oh! If you YouTube viewers.
Your mom's like, we hear everything. Okay, it's just gonna have to be like that.
No! Sorry,
I
guys.
don't know why. Oh, I just turned it. Whatever. I don't really know.
Damn, that's so weird.
That's really annoying, but
Alas, we
Hi,
were still
2
there. I
hour.
actually don't even know what button it could be. That's the thing.
we have a staff meeting tomorrow. I can ask like whoever is messing with it. Can you please stop?
Well, it's whoever messed with it the first. It must have been like during training or something. Because it didn't get fixed.
Or I can ask. Like that's so actually annoying. Not shut up and try being right after this. That's actually so slay.
Wait, what?
Shut up and drive, drive.
Damn, I'm sweating, dude. YouTube listeners, you know I'm sweating. You get all the inside scoop.
I'm trying to. If you
What?
advice, this is the F.
Are you posting right now? Oh my god, we didn't do the fit pick. That's good.
Is the F to oh my god. I'm not fast enough.
We have 5 minutes. No need to rush.
I'm just like in such the flow.
Yeah.
It just immediately started going.
I'm not a girl with silver stars. Honey kisses, clouds of love.
gonna take me so long to do.
What?
Okay. Oh,
I was trying to think if there's any fun audio we could play. I don't think there is.
wait, somebody put in stuff on here.
What? Oh, different buttons? YouTube people, you can hear that.
Why is it 3
Is
minutes?
it Jackson's? Wasn't Jackson doing a DJ set?
Yeah, but he has his like little turntable thing. I don't know why are they so long? I don't know.
Good question.
Anyways.
That's what I thought Jackson, because it was like a whole song's worth of, but.
Would you want to start and
After Shut Up and
after
Drive.
this you want to
Yeah, do after Shut Up and Drive. How long is Shut Up and Drive?
it's like 3 minutes.
Oh.
We can do a sweeper and then hours. Fuck.
That's
We'll
fine.
just start early.
That's fine.
Oh wait, I don't know what was second.
Oh, now?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's like it's 1 and then 2. We can start next though. Because I don't know what it was after the thing. His headphones didn't have any audio on.
What?
His headphones didn't have any audio on.
His
Unless he
headphones
turned
are
it off.
ginormous.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Girls on Film on Chapman Radio. Follow us on our socials at Girls on Film Radio.
Hey.
Welcome back to Girls on Film Radio. No filter, no boys, just two Dodge girls talking about the films that we want to talk about. Welcome back to the studio, everyone. If you're watching on YouTube and also listening at the same time, sorry the YouTube's still being a little funky, but hey, we're here. We're in the studio today, ready for you. We've actually been in the studio for an hour already because we guest starred on Is It Okay Pod prior to our episode. It was so much fun. If you were listening, congrats. If you weren't, it'll be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
We're in the radio flow right now.
Yeah.
We've been talking for an hour already, so we're ready to get to it.
Yeah. What do we want to start with? Updates? Normal, casual updates from the same as the last episode. Our show is now Tuesdays at 5. Follow us on Instagram at Girls on Film Radio. We're posting fun new graphics this semester. They're very fun and cute. And our episodes will be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. No fun new announcements right now. Other than, like, we were on the show before, but it's not really announced because it already happened.
Yeah, nothing crazy. I'm trying to think.
It's been a pretty mellow week, surprisingly.
Thank God.
Last week was awful, but this week has been okay.
Yeah.
Breaking news. I made this breaking news.
I did not even know this was a thing.
Yeah, I told this to my dad. I was like, whatever. But Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are dating? ? Maybe.
I don't know who that man is.
But you
Is
know.
he a football player?
Yeah, he's like he won. His team won.
Everything.
Well, his team won the Super Bowl last year. I think the whole thing was him and his brother were both playing against each other. His brother was on the other team.
Oh, I know exactly.
Yes. So the announcers on the show were like making Taylor Swift song references. And,
Interesting.
he held up like a 13 after he won the touchdown or whatever, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, that means that they're dating." They've not been seen together. I don't know. I could care less about anyone's dating life at this point because I can't even figure out my own. So that's all I have to say about that. And then today, this was new. Today, the Percy Jackson series trailer came out, or the teaser trailer. Oh my God, it was so good. My little heart is, of my younger self, is so happy. It looks amazing. I think it's doing it justice.
I have not watched it, I won't lie, but I will have to watch it.
There were photos released yesterday too that I think just got everyone like really excited, and I'm happy that I didn't read them when I was a kid, so I like reread them recently, but I don't know, I think for the people that show meant a lot to, like when they were younger, are gonna be like thrilled that this is a more accurate depiction because the movies were not.
That
even
was
though
literally
I love the movies.
me as a kid.
I liked the movies, but I don't know if
They weren't the same thing. They were not like... They were just the older version, and
Yeah.
I was fine with that.
because Hollywood loves aging people up, and they just don't like using children.
I'm not mad at it, because...
Yeah, we got Logan Lerman.
Yeah, Logan Lerman.
But That was the breaking news for today. Are you watching anything this week other than different from last week? I know you were watching Jersey Shore.
No, I have just like no time to watch anything. I'm just in my YouTube era still. I was watching Jersey Shore and Community, but right now I don't even have a second to breathe. So I've just been. I haven't
Because
been really
she
watching
started
anything.
something that we'll be talking about soon.
Yeah.
I am kind of watching Suits. I was watching it like a couple weeks ago, and I just like haven't gotten to the next episode. But I just watched all yesterday and the day before. I watched Surviving Summer on Netflix. Me and my mom watched the first season of this show like last summer. It was garbage. It's terrible. It's not good. But I love garbage television sometimes. So I just felt like I saw it pop up on the Netflix thing. Wouldn't have known because they haven't marketed it at all. And I watched it, and it's about a bunch of Australian surfers, and it's it. It's literally a garbage show, and I love it so much. I would marry any of the people in that cast.
That's crazy. I've literally never heard of it
'Cause
outside of Izzy mentioning
They
it.
don't do
Which is
marketing for
insane.
it. It's popular in the UK. It's popular in Australia. No one talks about it because it's just not. I don't know.
And it's also literally fall here.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. It's just
And
like,
it just came out yesterday.
yeah, I'm trying to get into my Christian Girl Autumn, and it's so hot out, so I'm struggling.
Yeah.
But we drink our pumpkin spice, and we go forward. We
Mhm.
try.
And we're gonna get some Target decorations. Yeah. And it'll be enough,
Yes.
even though it's sweltering out. We cannot wear our Christian Girl cardigans.
No, and my Uggs that I don't own. Like,
My imaginary Uggs. I can't do
Ugh.
it. Today's episode is a little bit more of an informative advice episode. We are going to give you the best advice on the market. You're not going to get this advice nowhere else. We did not learn this from anyone. This came from our brains.
No,
I'm
but
kidding.
that's actually pretty true, though. I
Yeah.
feel like have we done an advice episode like this before? We kind of did like one. Remember when everybody was getting their housing choices?
Oh,
we
yeah.
kind of was
But
that?
it wasn't a full
It was
like rundown episode.
no.
Again, I work at the Career Center at Dodge. For those who don't know, Dodge College has a Career Center where we do like internship, resume help, and that is the best help I've ever gotten. I love working there. I think it's the reason that the student workers are so helpful there is because it's the student perspective. Like our faculty and stuff is amazing and awesome,
Yeah.
but they're not the ones like when they were doing internships, which if they did forever ago,
It looks so
it
different.
would look so different. So I think having the perspective of the students who work there, and also like me and Maddie who have done multiple internships, give you internship advice on like the application process. We'll go through it all. I think it's a different. It's like a whole different world being the person who actually has to go like into the office and intern. So I think that'll be
For
like
sure.
but we've not done an advice episode where it's like this.
Yeah.
Fully advice. Do you want to say anything before we get into like our little separations?
I think.
You can talk about your internship now if you want.
Well, I think that so I'm trying to approach this episode as this is what I wish I would have listened to or had
Yeah.
access to when I was applying to my first ones, because I applied to my first internship during like Thanksgiving break. So I was back home. I wasn't able to like go to the Career Center and ask questions. I was like kind of doing it on my own. So that was like super scary for me because one of my parents, sorry, I love you guys. Like you can give me general advice on like this is the kind of language you should be using when talking to somebody in an interview. This, that, and the other thing. But specifically for a film internship, it's kind of different.
Yeah.
I've only applied and done like something outside of film like once, and I'm currently doing that.
It's scary.
It's really
like,
scary.
Coming from, we were talking about this the other day, like coming from a background of not having done film or having any connections of film at all. Like, yeah, I did theater, but that's like a whole different ballpark.
Yeah.
Coming into this and like not having any advice to go from is so scary trying to figure it out on your own. And so, yeah, some of these things are things that I did, and some of these things are things that I wish I had told myself or that I tell people today when they're applying to internships. So that's like the hope is that this is for a new generation of people.
Yeah, because the only things I was like applying for and doing were like to college and then to like food service jobs, and those are completely.
And that one didn't work out.
And then it's like completely different
Yeah.
to how you approach a specifically film internship and going into the office, like office job vibe.
Wait, can we talk about quickly our other interviews we've done? The only other like job interviews I've done, we got college and then an interview for Abercrombie.
Yeah.
I came in and they said, "Explain your outfit. Why are you wearing what you're wearing?"
Easy. Wow.
I said, "Damn!" I think I was wearing Docs. And I was wearing like my one shirt that has the constellations on it and jeans. And I was like, I really like this shirt because it matches the vibe. And I was like,
That's crazy.
That's like the only like interview experience I got the job.
What?
But no, I like prior to film stuff, the only interviews I've ever really done, college and well, which counts as film stuff, and then like for theater positions at school, but you're interviewing with
people
people
you
in
know.
the school.
Yeah.
So
So this was like super, super intimidating. So again, this episode is going to be your Holy Grail Bible to applying to film internships.
yeah, or if you are not someone who's applying to internships, this is how you deal with the person who's applying to internships
Mhm.
because it can be very stressful. Again, this is something that like, yeah, it's not really supposed to be a big deal in the long term, but the internships you pick and the way you go about talking to
Mhm.
people can affect your job down the line. So many things, and I can tell you
Mhm.
that the people that you work with and the people you interact with down the line will have a huge effect on you. Even when people, I hate when people say like, "Don't worry about the future. Don't think about the future." What else am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I don't know what else, like. I'm sorry, I don't know what you want me to do.
And we keep emphasizing that this is for film, but that's just because the primary experience we have. All of this is super, super helpful
Yes.
for just internships as a whole.
We're
So,
talking about it in the context of film, though.
Yeah,
but-
so take what we say, I guess, with a grain of salt. But again, coming from two girls who are like so hypersensitive and anxious, and like just put always every single thing that we do is it's always like on the line. Like this is the last thing
Yeah.
I could ever do ever,
Yeah.
and if it doesn't work out, then I'm gonna die.
yeah,
Just know that that's
Yeah.
the perspective that we're coming
yeah.
from.
And we've
so
both also done 3 internships. You're on your 3rd, right?
Yeah, I'm
so we've
on my
both also
3rd.
done 3 internships. So I think we each have enough. Like
ex-
we're split on the like. We've
Yeah.
done the same amount, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
So we're getting 2 perspectives of juniors who have done film
Mhm.
and adjacent industry related internships.
So what we're trying to say is that even though we might not be like suit and tie, I actually have experience in
We're just
HR and
girls.
recruiting.
We're just girls.
We know how it goes.
Yeah, we're just women. I'm just a
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
I can pay you in
Blocks.
blocks. That's our favorite
We're
thing.
gonna make we have to make a little audio for it. That's so funny.
The first little category we have is how to find internships. Now, I guess I could talk about this from I had the Career Center perspective, but
Mhm.
also, I'll start with that first. The way that I always say, like, when people come in and they're like, oh, I want to do a development internship, or someone comes to me and they're like, how'd you get your internship here, or whatever, it's always starts with, like, what do you watch, or what do you indulge in, whether that be movies, shows, podcasts, whatever, and then what are the companies that worked on that project. Like, my second internship, which I'll talk about later, was at Circle of Confusion, and one of the reasons I knew that company existed was because Joe Rosenberg at the Career Center mentioned it offhand, and then I looked them up, and they worked on Daisy Jones and the Six, which is the show that was based on one of my favorite books.
Mhm.
They represent the author. That was the company I was going to go for. That was my thing. That was because they worked on something that I enjoyed. So I always say, like, that's a good starting point for if you really do not know any companies. They're everywhere. Find the movie that won the Oscar last year and figure out what tiny production company worked on it.
Mhm.
I think that's just an easy way to start out, and then you start knowing, you get used to hearing all these company names, and you'll know, like, oh, this person runs this company. Every actor has their own production company. Every producer has their own production company. There's so many places, and they're everywhere. So just look at what you enjoy, and
Mhm.
even things from, like, the past, like Tim Burton has a production company that, like, technically you can intern
Yeah.
at. But it's just, like, finding your own, that's your own research, I guess. I don't know if you've done that before. I Google companies all the
Mhm.
time when I'm watching movies, so I'm like,
I think backtracking to even before choosing where you want to go and like finding places is that know that if you are a freshman
don't
in college
look.
right now, you don't need to be looking for internships.
No.
Figure out what your identity is
Yeah.
as a college student and let yourself worry about that craziness.
Yeah.
Because
Don't be like me. I got an internship summer of my freshman year. That's even too early. Like, that was my first year of college. I was applying already. I guess it's because I did work at the Career Center. But,
Mhm.
dude, it's not, again, yeah, it's that serious, but also you're a child. You don't
Yeah.
need to be, give yourself some time to breathe.
Because I think coming out of freshman year and hearing people were starting to get internships or looking, it freaked me out. And I was like, oh no, I'm already behind. I'm so scared. I'm not
Yeah.
going to have my experience outside of school. Like, nobody's going to, like, think I'm trustworthy as, like, an employee. Like, that's scary. Oh my God, I need to
We're
do
always
this.
going to compare ourselves to people constantly, no
Yeah.
matter what. Even people are going to say, don't compare yourselves. What else it's just there. You're always going to be looking up other people's LinkedIn posts,
Yeah.
whatever. Don't,
Yeah.
again, try not to. It is the biggest thing. Is, like, try not to compare yourself to other people.
Mhm.
And, like, me and Maddie are talking about internships. We've done completely different internships. So we're not comparing ourselves in that way. I don't know.
I
Don't
think-
try and, one-up people or try and
Yeah.
be better than someone else.
So look at an internship being like, how is this going to enhance my what I'm already doing right now. So if it's the summer for you and you have nothing else to do, take one up because you have the free time. Look, if you're in school and you're having classes, like, look to see if you can fit it in that schedule. Don't try and fit your internship. Don't try and fit your school schedule around an internship. Like, it's supposed to be supplementary to the education that you're getting at the moment.
Yeah.
At least for us, because we are in film school and we're, like, in our undergrad and stuff. Because if I'm being honest, the internships that I've had, my peers and the other interns that were with me, they have already graduated from undergrad, or they're getting their master's, or they're already done with both, period, and they're in, like, they're just trying to start their career as a whole. So don't feel as if you need to be rushing.
No.
Because once you get there, you're going to realize, I was stressing myself out for something that I have so much time later on to be figuring it out.
And, like, the internship I just did, there were a lot of high schoolers who are interning. That's wild. I think it was, like, an internship program with, like, the company. Oh, my God. If I was in film and I had to intern and do coverage and all that stuff, oh, my God, I don't know. I would have been so stressed out about it. Like, my own personal self-image, I'm worried about my sanity, but also how people perceive me. And especially as a teenage girl, how people perceive you is, like, the biggest thing on your mind all the time. So I think, I don't know,
So my, like, biggest thing, at least, I think my biggest thing, like, as a whole, I'm so grateful that I was able to do the ones that I've done and all this stuff, but I was stressing myself out and, like, gnawing to the bone, trying to find things and, like, figure out, like, when I can do them and all this stuff, and it caused me such, like, debilitating anxiety all the time, that it's, like, now that I'm looking back at it, girl, you have the experience, you have the skills, you are fine, and as long as you can, as you were saying, like, finding a company that you feel that you fit in with and all that stuff, that's just going to help it fall into place more, but don't force it. Don't beat yourself up if you can't find one exactly at that time. You'll have more time later on. That's a beautiful way to put it. That's before you start applying. If you're, like, listening to this as a freshman, that's what I'm trying to say to you. Sorry, but going off of what you're saying about finding internships, that's completely, I am completely with you with that. Knowing what you like and knowing what your values are and knowing, like, what kind of environment you want to work with and work in, that's what should be guiding where you're working at.
And there's definitely, I mean, like, you're going to do however many internships you do, there's definitely going to be one that you're going to, like, think you're going to be so excited for, and it's just going to be, like, kind of whatever. It, again, we have to deal with, but if you're haven't started searching for internships yet, listen to our advice and go with something like a company that you actually think you would be interested in learning about because of the things that they produce or whatever. It'll make life so much more fun, and you will want to learn more than what they're providing for you. You'll want to search for more things to do and more advice and stuff like that.
Because if you see that a company is, like, more of an indie and that they're making smaller films, if you know that you're going to thrive in a team that's super small and intimate, then go for one of those. But if
you're making sci-fi and you want to direct big blockbusters, the indie company is not for you.
Yeah, then you should go and seek something else out that's going to be more compatible with your interests.
Yeah.
And if you have the time to do the deep dive, and I kind of said this in our notes, is that if you know what you like, you're going to have to work for finding a company that's going to work for you, because it's not just going to fall in your lap. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But for the ones that we found and, like, we've had, it took some work to, like, find it and get to it and, like, apply to it and, like, do all this stuff.
Which we'll talk about. But other than that searching, if you're a Dodge student, the Career Center and the Facebook. If you're a person, LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a whole, like, page that is just for jobs that people apply, whatever. Handshake. You put Handshake.
Yeah, I got all 3 of my internships through Handshake.
Which is crazy. I've like, literally never used Handshake. So
I know. That's what I'm saying, is that everybody always talks smack about Handshake, but I'm like, it's because I get so obsessive that I am on Handshake 24, at least when I was looking for them. I was on there 24/7 seeking, you have to know also, like, the strategy. So, like, you can't just look up film internship. You would get, like, 1,000 things.
Yeah.
You have to look up development internship, film internship in LA, development internship, film pay.
Keywords.
Yeah, the keywords are really going to, like, make it or break it for you. And for me, Handshake has been a really good resource. I know for some people, it doesn't work that way.
I feel like Handshake, people, when I was working at the other Career Center, Handshake was, like, not film-related jobs. But again, like, I just like LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's always open. It's open on the tabs on my computer right now.
Just know that you don't have to it can be a resource for you to like start the search.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you might not find like Disney on Handshake, but you're gonna find it on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And it can be vice versa as well.
Check everywhere.
So, check everywhere, exactly.
And then there's also Hollylist and like paid job boards, which I don't like the fact that they're paid. But again, people gotta get their money, so I get it. You can do those if you're not a student, because that's an option. How to actually apply to internships. This is the next big chunk.
So you found one that you really like. You have copy pasted all of the whole job listing onto a Google Doc so you can take your notes.
Yeah.
How are you gonna start applying to it?
So it's usually like, I know a lot of them are you like a portal where you kind of like add your resume, you fill in all the questions, you answer whatever, you put in your emergency address. Are you able to work in the United States? Yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
And there's other ones like, I think 2 of the ones that I've done was like through email. Like there was a contact email that was given. It's a posting on LinkedIn and it's like, email this person. And you email and then you get the internship through email. Like that also works. You do your whatever, use whatever. So those are the 2 different like main ways I would say. Handshake's also like a portal, right? You like put your stuff in. So portal or email contact. It is. I have never seen it happen where it's like face to face. Other than, I mean, after you do your interviews, but like I've never seen it where like you walk up to someone and ask for an internship and give it to you, which is like whatever. That's crazy.
That's
Hollywood.
vintage and old.
But there's specific things that companies will ask for in your application. Usually it's kind of a combination of the same stuff. It's a resume, it's a cover letter, talking about why you want to enter the company. You just added this.
Yeah, I just did add this because for film things in particular, especially development ones, they're probably going to ask you for, a lot of the times it'll be like, if you have one, a coverage sample.
Yeah.
And if something is optional,
do
make it mandatory
Which
for
is
yourself.
Why, if a cover letter is optional, do it.
Yeah. So if you're at Dodge, and are they still doing the coverage like workshops?
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
So if you don't already have one coverage sample, oh my god,
it helped Maddie.
It helps
get an internship.
It helped. It has helped me get both of my internships. So just having that to prove that you know how to actually do it, and that you're not gonna, sorry for lack of a better word, be a burden on the company to have to teach you how to the coverage skills. It is so useful.
And then the other times that this has happened is like I haven't been asked for a coverage sample. I've been asked to do coverage for the company. So like I think I got overnighted. Like I did it overnight. I stayed up until like 4 a.m. doing coverage for this company because I just wanted to send the email like immediately back and be you know productive, or what's the word?
Proactive.
Proactive. That's the word.
I
don't know. That happens sometimes.
Yeah, I was told. So my first film internship was unpaid, which we'll get into that like later. But usually the ones that are going to ask you to do like a coverage, like piece of coverage for them, those are probably going to be the ones that will be paid, because they're not going to want to give you like work without extra work.
I wish I could say that was true for all of them, because the one that I did do the coverage for was not paid.
Really?
But
crazy.
well, okay, so if we're going to go into that realm, the Circle of Confusion one I did was unpaid, and I did a coverage on an episode or whatever. But I won't name the company. I interviewed with a company for internship this semester. They paid me to do the coverage.
Yeah.
They gave me a gift card that I spent on a bag.
I think so.
I bought a bag. I think I bought a bag. No, I bought a book. I bought a book set. I had a special edition book. So, like, they paid me to do the coverage, and I didn't get the internship, and they still paid me to do the coverage, which is wild. That was, like, a literally out of the blue. Like, I was so shocked that they paid me to do it.
So it depends, but I'm just saying that for me personally, I think that having a coverage sample is so beneficial to have just in your back pocket to bring out. Yeah. It's like it's a little extra, like, razzle-dazzle
and now,
to you as, a possible employee.
I have a coverage sample that I use that, like, I did add it was for the first internship I did. It was a coverage I just really liked, and I just use that one now, wherever I put it in. So, like, that was one I did in a company, and that's the coverage sample that I use.
I see.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But those are the things you should have. I wrote extras. I wrote if you have a website, I always, like, put my website. My website's on my resume, too. And then a reel.
If you're, like...
a cinematographer or a director, I don't have a reel.
Yeah, we don't have that, sorry. But...
Oops.
Advice.
You wrote.
I
think you wrote this stuff.
Yeah, just similarly, like having one base resume that has your latest jobs and most general experience, so you can adjust it depending on what you're applying for. And I'm saying that in that I have a music resume and then I have a film resume, and they both have like the same things, but on one it embellishes the music stuff more, and then on the other one it embellishes the film stuff more. So knowing to like my resumes always have like radio, they always have like the food service and receptionist jobs I've had, but on both of them the film and music things look different.
Yeah.
Because I want to show that
Yeah.
I'm really good in this way and on this way to
So-
whoever I'm applying towards.
Mine is not different, but similar. I just have one resume that I make edits to. So like all the stuff I do is mostly film stuff, but I do have radio on it because I think that's
Mhm.
a good show
Yeah.
of like character. But I have it's on my LinkedIn on my website. I have like a separate document that just has all of the information from all the things that I've done.
Mhm.
That way, like if a company specifically, if I was to apply to like a theater company thing, I'd put back all my theater stuff
Yeah.
that I've done. So I have all that information already formatted in like the way it would go on my resume on a separate document, and I kind of just add it in. So like I've done some like PA stuff on some like kind of like music video production sets. If I was applying to a company that's done something like that, I would
Yeah.
put that back on. It's just
Mhm.
off now because like the more important stuff, like my internships,
Yeah.
is on there now.
So just having like one general one that you can like add or subtract from,
Yeah.
or if you're neurotic like me and having two separate
Well,
ones,
you
knowing
have a good reason for it. Like
yeah. So it just depends on your circumstance, but just having more
Then-
is so much better than
yeah.
having nothing and then having
Yeah.
to scramble.
and
to
if you
find
don't
things.
have stuff on your resume yet, like again, if you're a freshman, don't literally you'll get
Yeah.
stuff on your. It's I swear.
It
And
naturally happens.
yeah, it just you're
Like,
gonna just find stuff to put on there. It'll
Yeah.
be great.
The
What was
second, the second one that I said was the same thing I said prior. Like, if you have an ideal role or like job that you want, you're really gonna need to put in the work to find it and apply for it, and go obsessive mode. So the
She
things
wrote
that
obsessive mode in the notes. Is she
I
serious?
did, because really, like, for me personally, any job is actually makes me want to die. I like don't dream of labor. I just dream of being on iPhone and drinking orange cream soda all
Yep.
day. Like that's all I want to do.
She still does that too.
Yeah. So for me to have the motivation to apply somewhere, go through the whole application process, interview process, all of that takes so much energy. I'm not gonna want to do that
For
for a
something you
place
don't
that I
like.
don't like.
Exactly.
So I would rather go obsessive mode to find companies that I'm really passionate about and really align myself with, so that I feel excited and motivated to go through the process instead of dreading it.
Yeah.
Because it's strenuous. It's a lot.
The next part of our section is interview process. I put a before and an after, or a before and a during, because I feel like they're two
Yeah,
very
they're
different.
very different.
Before, pick a good outfit to wear, whether you're doing a Zoom call or
Mhm.
going in person. Look professional. I don't care
Yeah.
if the person on the other side is wearing a sweatshirt. You gotta look your best.
Mhm.
Your hair's ready. Your background looks good. Make sure it's not messy. I did a lot of my interviews in my guest room, and I would always. Me and my mom would make the bed.
No,
So
yeah.
like the bed in the back was like neat. Like
Yeah.
don't be professional. Again, it's fake it
Mhm.
till you make it.
For sure.
Fake being, the most organized person ever until you make it.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that I pride myself in doing. Like before any interview or any like mostly meeting or anything with anyone, I will always write as many notes as possible about the company or the person that I'm interviewing.
Yeah.
Because you never know what they can ask you about the company. They can ask you like, oh, so like specifically during my Circle of Confusion interview, which again, like that was my favorite internship. I just love that company. During my interview, they asked me like, do you know this actress that was in the whatever show? And I knew because I looked at their website on the people they represent before, and I was like, oh, it's Chloe Svigny. I can't pronounce her last name. That's her in that show. I'm so excited to see her in this. That's also just my film knowledge helping me out. But
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't have known that she was a client at this company if I hadn't had done my deep dive on their website, their posts, or whatever. Do that. Either take notes or like commit it to memory. I'm a notes person. I need to have a physical like note written down. You wrote this.
Yeah, in the same vein of that, in specific, if you are like, oh my god, but that seems so broad, just like take notes. What does that mean? For me, the way that I do it, at least for film ones, be confident in the lore of like one or two of the company's projects.
Yeah.
Because it shows that you actually care about them and proves that you've done the research. So when I was applying and then if you really want to go for it, know the lore about a past project and then an incoming project that isn't out with the company yet, because it shows that you're invested in the company's past and future. So when I was applying to Big Beach, which was my second internship, my big thing was that like I love the farewell, the whole message, I'm Asian. And I watched the film with my mother, and the whole thing was about, like Asian families and what that kind of looks like and the intergenerational like trauma and all those kinds of things. So I really was talking about that a lot throughout my interview, but then I also did research on Big Beach's like future projects. And they have one coming out soon called Tropical Gothic, which is based off of a book by Nick Joaquin, but it's going to be directed by Isabel Sandoval, who's a Filipino director. And for me, that was like the perfect kind of future project for me to talk about because I am Filipino, and I was talking about how the farewell was such a great representation of Asian culture, but in specific, Tropical Gothic is going to touch in specific like the Filipino kind of audience that I feel like is very underrepresented in Hollywood and that sort of thing. So being able to say that you know the current projects and like past projects, it's like, okay, thank you for doing the research, but you could have just heard that in passing.
Yeah.
To know what they haven't even come out with yet and that they're still developing, it shows that, oh, you actually like looked into the trades and read up on what we're doing and like all of that. So it proves that you have a deeper like deeper knowledge on them.
Like, again, I'm using my Circle of Confusion interview, and I guess my Gotham interview recently too. Like, in my interview for the Gotham group, which was my most recent internship, they're producing the Percy Jackson series, which I just talked about earlier. That was why I was excited. Like, during the interview, like I was like, that was something that was really interesting about the company. Same with Circle of Confusion. I knew that they were producing a bunch of Taylor Jenkins Reid's projects because they represent her, and I was passionate about that in the interview, which we'll talk about in a sec. But other thing I wrote down is notes about yourself. You wrote, is that physical? Physical, like, you can write down physical notes, but also just, like, know what you've done in your, like, mind and how to speak about it well, I guess, because they're going to ask you, what makes you the best fit for this position in our company? What qualities do you have as a worker? You could literally have your resume pulled up, or you can have your website or whatever. Like, yeah, you know the stuff you did, but know it in detail enough where if they ask you, like, what's the most difficult project you worked on? Or maybe they have your resume pulled up, and they say, can you tell me a little bit more about this project that had this thing specifically stated about it? You want to know so you don't, like, look off to the side and read a piece of paper and be like, and word vomit during a interview, which is going to happen. Like, you're going to kind of black out a little bit. I black out during an interview. I just kind of forget that I did them. During the interview, this is my first thing is pay attention. It's going to be very easy to, surprisingly, like, you're going to be talking a lot, but also they talk a lot and kind of explain, like, the internship, and they ask you questions. You could probably doze off. Like, don't
especially during like a phone call. Oh my
god, terrible.
Those
bad.
Are hard.
Focus. If it's a phone call, especially with no face, which I've done, focus. Stare at the phone screen. Focus. If you're staring at a Zoom call, don't look at yourself. Don't look at the keyboard. Don't look at don't look at the person outside your window. Look at focus is important because you're gonna miss a thing that they said or miss a question that they whatever. Like, something's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen. Make sure you always have questions to ask them at the end of the interview. I thought people were joking about this at first. I was like, why do I have to ask them a question? They're interviewing me. I don't got anything to ask them. Oh my goodness, guys, I always now have at least like 2 or 3 questions, probably more, from those notes that I did from their company. I always have questions ready to ask at the end because everyone always asks at the end of the interview, do you have anything else you want to ask us, or like any questions? You're going to need a question.
Yeah, and like if you don't want to do it based off of the notes that you've written about the company, I always ask about what the actual internship part looks like. So how many other interns are you guys bringing on? Like, what does a day-to-day look like for an intern? If you know that the person who's interviewing you was an intern, how was your experience like? Like, those sorts of things. You can approach the kind of closing questions differently, but as long as you have something that just makes you look better.
Yeah, exactly. I wrote this is cheesy. Be yourself. I said it's cheesy, but it's very true. They're not going to hire the same, film bureau that they hired last semester. They're going to hire you for you, and if they don't want to hire you for you, that's not the company for you.
Yeah.
Be yourself. Don't try and fit in, I think I've definitely done this before in other interviews or whatever. Like, trying to fit into the, the vibe of the situation. Obviously, you want to adapt and mold to whoever you're interviewing with, but don't, take away qualities of yourself or hide yourself just for an interview or an internship.
Yeah. When I was applying for Perfect Storm, and they're primarily action things, they're asking, what are you interested in watching? I was talking about Glee. And you know what? There was 2 interviewers on the call with me. She was like, oh my god, that's my favorite show of all time. You never know what these people are into as well. We all have our niche, favorites.
Yeah.
And you don't know if you're going to just hit the mark on it perfectly with your interviewer unless you mention it.
That was one of the other things, connect with the interviewer. It's definitely, you want to try and become, not friends, but, good acquaintance with them. Yeah, on the interview, because they're going to remember you for, the quirky Glee episode that you mentioned, or, the, whatever, color of your hair, or whatever. They're going to remember you for being unique, and if they don't, then they're not the company for you.
They're lost, exactly.
Yeah, they're lost, you're awesome.
And I added this one
yeah.
little thing, but depending on, so if this is like a phone call, I don't know
Oh,
how you
yeah.
would do that, but if it's like a Zoom, or like a, that sort of thing, for me personally, I have like such a bad memory and I feel like I black out when I have interviews. So sometimes if I know that this conversation is going to be beneficial to me, I'll record it.
This is fascinating because I've never done this, but it kind of makes sense.
I have recorded interviews and it's not like I'm like publishing it and I'm like,
Yeah.
sending it to people. It's for my own use because I forget what people say to me.
Yeah.
So it's useful for me because I'll try and take notes. I'll try and do this, try and keep track of what they're saying. But I black out during interviews because I get so nervous.
I just black out too. And we also select interviews, but yeah, blacking out is still like a thing that happens.
Yeah.
I don't record, but every time I've had an interview, especially...
Record as in voice memo, not yeah.
But anytime I've had an interview at home, which most of my interviews have been at home or like during the summer or whatever, I immediately like go out to my parents after an interview and I tell them like I try and remember everything that happened and repeat it out loud.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, I slayed. I literally rocked the house, boots down. I like repeat everything I can remember. That way I kind of like, it's like putting it to memory again. Because now I'm out of the blackout zone where I don't remember things. Was that everything for during the interview? Do we have any?
I think so. Just stay authentic.
It sounds so cheesy,
but it's so true because guess what? You're gonna sound more eloquent. It's gonna flow easier if you are speaking to your own experiences and what you like. Because I'm not gonna be able to spit on the fly like this whole spiel about Fast and Furious, even though I know that Perfect Storm did Fast and Furious. That's just not my thing. So being honest with that, and I was approaching that interview being like, action is not my forte, but I see the value in working somewhere that isn't exactly the genre I like, but you're representing people, Asians, and like BIPOC people in a way that I want to in my work. And so like, not saying cherry picking, but like choose where you know that you connect with them, and it doesn't have to be with everything.
Good, perfectly put, Maddie. First day or first few days of your internship, again.
So you get it.
Yeah, you got it. Good job. You got the email. Congrats. Whatever HR paperwork they make you do, you did it. Good job. You have it scheduled.
Congratulations.
You're going into the office on Thursday at 9 a.m. in LA, which the whole drive, that's a whole episode itself. The drive's going to suck. It's going to suck, but you're going to get through it, I swear. You're going to show up at 9 a.m. What do you need to have ready for your first day? Dress to impress, just like the same thing as an interview. Dress in a way, like, I love a chill office, and I think as you get along in your internship and you see, like, what people are wearing, like, maybe that's, I don't know. The internship I just did, I was dressing nice all of the days I went because I was only going 2 days a week, and I wanted the people there to see me as, like, someone who's professional that is, like, again, it's fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Fake that you like wearing slacks to work, okay? Just do it. Like, you have to.
Yeah.
I think that's, and also, like, don't
lose your sense of, like, identity.
In the same way, yeah.
Yeah, because business casual can look so different for so many different things. Because, like, if you're a lady and, dresses are not your thing, then a slacks moment for business casual is everything.
I hate dresses. There's, like, 2 dresses that I have that I like wearing. I was wearing pants, like, my black or, like, beige dress pants and, like, a nice shirt and my loafers, which I love my loafers. But I was accessorizing jewelry, makeup, earrings, headband. You stay true to yourself, but also it's hard to say be professional, but it's true.
Like, I would be wearing my business casual vibe, and then I wear docs every day.
Yeah.
But it's because your work is not based off of how you're dressed, but it's reflective of, it could be reflective of you if somebody new comes into the office and they don't, and you're the first person that they see.
Imagine, Chris Hemsworth is going to walk into the office somehow.
No, that was literally me.
How do you want Chris Hemsworth to see you working in the office?
Yeah. And you want to be ultimately, you just want to be taken seriously by your supervisors, by the people at the company.
And it sucks that we have to wear, professional clothing to do that, but you just have to. Get there early. At least your first day, get there early. You can do this every day if you want to, if you're really extra about it. Just get there early.
Because you're going to be nervous, and if you get there 5 minutes before and you don't give yourself, the time to park and sit with yourself, silence, nothing, oh, baby. I'm sorry. You're gonna
leave early too.
Oh yeah.
Because I would get there at 8:15 every day, and my intern started at 9 because I was scared of traffic, so I went really, really early.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna want time to take yourself
decompress.
Out of it. Yeah.
before you go in.
Yeah, this is one of my things that I think has given me most success so far in my internships is like introducing myself to the assistants and the people that work in the office, not necessarily the managers or whoever the executives work in the company because I feel like that can be very scary. But like especially on your first day or your first couple of days, introduce yourself to the people who are your supervisor. Introduce yourself to the assistants who are working at these different desks because they're the people that were just in your shoes literally like however many years ago. Like they're like 26, like they just were in your shoes. So I think they understand it more than the like adults that are working at these companies. Become their friends because they're the people that are going to be the execs next, and you're going to be their assistants. And so, that's the kind of people that you should become friends with.
Yeah, and for mine, I've never worked at a company where they're like representing people in the industry. So for me, like I was doing development stuff, but I was also a receptionist. So being friendly to everybody who came into the office, and they really ingrained it in my head as you are the first person that they are seeing and meeting. So you are like the representative of Big Beach.
Yeah.
For the 2 seconds that they see you, have a little spiel. I had like written down a little spiel that I would say to people in the first like couple days because I was just so nervous. But just knowing like, hi, how can I help you? If you need, the bathroom, it's over there. And if you need a drink, please let me know. And it seems so silly to say because it's like so professional and that sort of stuff. But that's really what's going to make you look more professional and will be taken more seriously. Yeah. But in the same vein, introducing yourself and getting yourself like remembered, I feel like is such a thing.
Same thing you do in the interviews. Yeah. People are going to remember you if you, show them that you're unique. Mm-hmm. If you're tuning in right now, welcome to Girls on Film Radio. I'm Izzy.
I'm Maddie.
And we're talking about internships. This is our second episode back
of the season.
Studio. Woohoo! We're now moving on to our personal internship experience. Mm-hmm. We were just talking about this on the Is It Okay pod before. I'm talking about how we're in the industry, and I feel like the things that we say, there's like a record of us talking about these things. Mm-hmm. So we're going to try and be positive.
Yeah.
Which we are being. I think internships are a beautiful opportunity. There's obviously some things I would like to change about the culture and society around them, but
like the critiques that we have on them are just like general critiques that you have on jobs as a whole.
Yeah.
So it's
not necessarily film either. It could be
it's nothing in specific to like one company.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
We want to abolish unpaid internships. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a popular statement across the board.
Yeah, that's just like a thing.
Yeah.
So like those sorts of things, just know that like the concerns and critiques that you have of internships, that's what we're thinking of too, and we agree.
Yes.
But we're just going to be highlighting the good things and the positive things that have come out of our work experience.
So I guess we already talked about okay. So I guess I'll go through mine on how I got the internships. My first internship I did was with Paramount with Di Bonaventura Pictures. Lorenzo Di Bonaventura, he's a producer. He produced the Meg movies and a lot of other things. Also Transformers. Yeah, Transformers. That's a big deal. He did a half semester class at Chapman, and I was in the class, and we watched movies that he produced or ones that he felt influenced his career, and he was there to talk with us. And that's the reason I got the internship the next semester or whatever. I contacted the person and I said I took the class with him. And then they interviewed me, and it was that was a perfect fit. That was really lucky for me. First internship, it was all remote, and it was coverage. Didn't get to go into the office, but hey, I got the experience doing coverage, which I'd never done before, and also now I know the people who work at that specific company. Circle of Confusion, it was after I worked at the Career Center, Joe said, you should look at Circle of Confusion. I did. Out of all the list of the other internships that he was saying are also available, they specifically worked on Daisy Jones and the Six, or were working on it.
For your first one, when was the first one?
That was freshman year summer, so the summer after freshman year.
And then Circle
of Confusion was sophomore year, first semester.
Okay.
So
the fall.
Yeah, the fall. So that was I was applying during the summer. Second semester sophomore year. So I had spring of sophomore year.
And that was hybrid.
Yes, so I did a day in person and a day at home because I was not doing a drive to LA 2 days a week. That was crazy. And then the Gotham group, that was
this summer.
Yeah, that was the summer, but that was I don't remember how. I think that was a Joe had the email from the lady, and then no. I saw them that they were producing the Percy Jackson series, and I tried to find an email, and so the only email that was on their website was the rights email to buy the rights for their because they represent writers and authors.
Mhm.
The only email was the rights email where you could email like, oh, I want to get the rights to this author's work for whatever. I emailed that email, and that guy just happened to send my email to the internship lady, and they were hiring interns like internally from their like college or their high school programming. That was a lucky, like, the guy saw my email and forwarded it to the right person.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole thing, like, when I was starting to apply, I was so intimidated because I was so scared of the rejection. But really, it's just a redirection. That's always what they say.
Yeah.
But the worst thing that they can say is no. And you never know. It could be, like, an Izzy instance where you were just, like, browsing, and then they suddenly send you to the right person.
Yeah.
And then it's, jackpot, like, bullseye moment.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Very lucky. How'd you get all your internships, and when did they happen?
Okay, first one I had was with Perfect Storm Entertainment, and that was spring semester of sophomore year, and I was applying throughout like the fall, and that's the one that I was applying for and Thanksgiving and stuff. So I was kind of doing all of my onboarding stuff during interterm vibes. That was all online. It was unpaid, and it was just like coverage stuff.
I should have said all of mine were unpaid.
Yeah, and then so it was like primarily coverage stuff. It was like the strike. I was like just starting to like become a thing.
Yeah.
Like soon after, as it was ending, it like officially started. So I was able to like get scripts and books and all those things. So I was doing coverage for that, and then my second one was with Big Beach Films, and that was over this summer. So me, Izzy, and our friend and roommate Zoe, we all interned over the summer. We all lived in the K, and that's why we were kind of like in Orange for the past how many months now, because we were all interning at the same time. It was all in person, 3 days a week. It was paid, thankfully, but that was the one that I was doing development stuff and reception. So it was very heavy workload, and I could not imagine doing that during the school year.
And without being paid. So really just prioritizing your mental health vibes and just being a realist with yourself. It could be the most perfect match for you, but if you know you're going to burn yourself out and you're going to come home crying every night, don't do it. Like, just give yourself the grace to put on the back burner, come back to it another time when you're better off doing it instead of just struggling through it. Then my third one is the one that I just started literally like last week. It's my first ever non-film one. So I am a digital marketing intern with Fearless Records, which is like a pop punk emo record label, and that is 3 days a week, 2 days online, and then 1 day in person, and my in-person day is on Wednesday. So when Izzy was talking about like doing the drive and all that sort of stuff, that's literally me tomorrow morning, which kind of sucks, but I feel like the summer has really set me up for success in that I have the experience and confidence of like driving to LA all the time. This one is paid. You are just backing out the big bucks.
No, because Izzy and I did make a pact that we will not be accepting.
I'm not doing any more unpaid internships. I'm so sorry. It's just not going to happen. I can't do for credit. I just can't do it. I was about to do one, and this much I can't. No. I just can't do it. Again, that's one of the things I guess we wish you could change about all internships in general. If you can't pay your interns, don't have interns. Yeah. I don't know what to say, but like that. Maybe that's a harsh opinion. Companies should have money to pay their interns, even if it's literally $5. Give me a $5 bill. I'm kidding. Like,
or just like compensate lunch or
something. You're getting college kids to do work for you, and again, like, it's weird because I know this is a fact. Like, every other industry, medical, business, whatever, any internship you do is going to be paid. Mm-hmm. All of those are going to be paid. And it's just the culture in film where companies don't have to pay their interns. They probably have money to, but they're just past companies and past people have never paid their interns, and so they're just continuing to not pay. And
it hurts so badly to look at the STEM internships and like the Google ones and all that stuff where they're fully getting like
salary.
Yeah, for an internship. It breaks my heart, but I feel like, if I'm being honest, like, I think it's a good experience to, if your first one you can't find one that's paid, like, just try it, see like an unpaid one out.
I say like first one or first two. It
doesn't matter whether or not.
But you're getting to the point where like you're gonna have, especially if you're film, you're gonna have projects you're working on. You're gonna have class. You're gonna have I'm doing my AP and a thesis film next year. Like, I am not gonna be doing work in my free time, not paid, even if I love the company. I'm doing I do projects for fun. Because those things are for people that I know personally that I will do things for free for because I owe it to them or like I like working with them. I don't owe it to these companies anything. They're asking for my work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though I want to work for them, I don't know. You're asking for labor, and labor should be paid.
Mm-hmm.
That's just an across the board thing.
Oh.
No unpaid internships.
Yeah. Looking at your things, I totally agree with. I feel like just the intern to employee relationship can feel so odd at 1st,
Mhm.
and I would really love if every internship you go into, they like foster that sense of like, you should not be intimidated of me
Yeah.
just because I have been working at this company.
Yeah.
You are. It feels like when you're as an intern that you're kind of like a drag. Like you're the person that they hired that they're gonna replace
Yeah.
super fast. So I wish more internships would kind of like foster the environment of like, we are grateful that you are here and helping us out rather
Yeah.
than it being like they're doing us a service.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be more, like,
And I think it comes from
mutually-
also mutually beneficial. I think it comes from being friends with the people, like, or associates with the assistants and stuff like that. Like when I was interning again at Circle of Confusion, like I became best friends with the people on the second floor, and like I went to one of the assistants' birthday parties, like a couple like during the summer, because we became such like close working partners. Someone's calling. That's scary. The button just went off. Oh, we're getting a phone call.
I can try it.
That's
but,
wild. Maddie said, "Listen, we got a phone call."
But we have.
This is the first time this has ever happened. I'm concerned. I'll just keep talking. One of the other little things that. Oh,
You just
sorry,
do it.
y'all. We are just.
No.
Okay, back to the internship talk. One of the
Hello.
little tiny notes that I made was if you give an intern your card to get you coffee, you should tell them to get a drink and a treat for themselves. Over the summer, when I interned at the Gotham group, there was multiple times where like a person was coming in and we had to go get them coffee, and I was just like, I'm going all the way to Starbucks and I'm not getting a treat for myself. I don't have to pay for it on my own. That's just a joke little thing that I kind of want to add. If I'm ever an executive at a company and I tell someone to go get me coffee, get one for yourself. I'm rich.
Yeah,
No.
I just feel like it can.
That's that moment of like bonding and like fostering a good environment too.
I feel like sometimes it can feel a little like demoralizing.
Yeah.
And like to be an intern because you think of like the intern movie or you think of how they're depicted and whatever, and it's like, oh, you're doing the busy work and like you're my little dog and I'm gonna have you do what I want you to do.
Yeah.
So being able to work in an environment and like have people that respect you
Yeah.
is what, even though I know it's bare minimum, but just to put it out there is something that you should seek out.
Yeah, and that comes in, I guess, the application process too, like knowing that the people that are working there who are interviewing you, like if the interview you don't like the person you're being interviewed by, maybe that's not the right place for you. All internships should try and, foster a good relationship with their interns. Because, again, like, definitely in some of the internships I've done where it's like, people don't want to talk to the interns, and that's weird.
And, like, I think one last thing, because we are kind of wrapping it up, is that to be in film does not mean you have to do a development internship.
Oh, my God, please do something else other than development.
It can be
it's so taxing.
Yeah, development comes with coverage, and coverage comes a lot of work. It's as if you're doing a second class.
Yep. With extra overnight hours.
Yeah, if you're doing it, like, during the school year and stuff. Being in film, I was, like, as my time at Big Beach was ending, I kind of had, like, a closing interview with one of the execs, and we were talking, and I was kind of asking her, what do you recommend for looking to internships that aren't just development? Because it's cool to, like, see what work is coming in and stuff, but it's so much to do. Oh my gosh, there is so much. You can work at a trailer house. I don't know if you're into, like, editing and, like, post-production. Audio places. You can, with my internship right now at the record label, I'm doing digital marketing. If you have any experience in social media, whether it be you just having apps and like knowing how they work, digital marketing is like the key for any young person trying to break into whatever industry. Digital marketing is going to be your bae and your bestie. What else is there? I don't know.
I think that was like everything you could ever know about internships, guys. I'm so serious.
So just don't like limit yourself and don't underestimate yourself. You actually have so much more experience than you think.
They're gonna hire you for you.
Yeah.
So whatever experience you have, bring it to the table. Be your truest self. And it sounds cheesy, but
have faith in yourself. You know so much more than you actually think, and as long as you're authentic, then they're gonna see that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was your internship advice for this Tuesday. Tune in next week. I don't remember what we had planned for next week, but it should be fun and
You'll
great
be
and
lucky
amazing.
to listen.
Yeah, this episode will be up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts later. Peace and love, everyone. Have a good week.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
Oh my god, that flashing light was actually crazy.
No, but why were they calling
YouTube people who are still listening,
They also
You
don't
saw
know who
that.
it was.
YouTube people who saw that,